Hi all, we started trigonometry a couple of days ago. We've gone through a couple of models, a couple of questions together. I'm going to model these today now, and then you are going to have a go independently from the book. So starting on these questions, there we go. So remember, first things first, always label the triangle. So on the first one, we label the hypotenuse, then we label the opposite, and then we label the adjacent. Right, next steps, always write down saw, ka, toa. Now we need to see what sides are involved in this question. I've got the 16 centimeter side and I have the X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tick all of the ones that involve A's and H's. So there's a H, there's a H, there's an A, there's an E. So the one that has two ticks is the one we are going to use. So I'm going to do cos of the angle, and that is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, once you've written down your formula, you've identified the formula, written it down, you now need to make sure you put all the numbers in. So we've got cos, and the angle is 67. Remember, put it in brackets because your calculator will like that. And is equal to adjacent, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 16. Now, can we rearrange this? Well, what's the opposite of dividing by 16? It's times in by 16, so 16 times cos of 67 must be equal to x. Now on my calculator, I have 16 times cos of 67, I press equals 6.251. So if I'm doing that at one decimal place, I've got x equals 6.3 centimeters, and that was to one decimal place. Now, that was the first question, pretty much the same as yesterday. So bear that in mind. When we've rearranged it, it's been a nice simple rearrangement. It is going to get trickier. So when I look at question 2, exactly the same steps. I start with labeling the triangle. So I label X is going to be H. I have my O, which is opposite the angle, and my A, which is the other side. So in this case, I have a H and an A. The X is H, the A is 12. So I need to make sure now I look at this question, I write down saw, ka, toa. So saw, ka, toa. And I tick the sides that are involved, an A and a H. Oh, there we are, H, A, H, A. So again, the one in here is cos again. So I write down the formula. Cos of the angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So in this case, the cos of 72, remember 72 in brackets, your calculator needs to close that bracket after the cos part, is equal to, come back, there we are, is equal to, we have the adjacent, which is 12, and the hypotenuse, which is x. Now, looks slightly different this time, in that the x is underneath. Every other question you've had, the x has always been on the top. So we've got to rearrange this. So what is going to happen is this x will come up the top, and this one here will come back underneath. So you should have x is equal to 12 divided by cos of 72. So again, calculator needs to come out. 12 cos 72, close the bracket, press equals 38.83281573. Let's round it. So I'm going to do x is equal to, and I'm going to go with 38.8 centimeters. All right. So another one. Make sure label the triangle, hypotenuse, opposite, come back, there we are, opposite, and adjacent. So, which sides are involved? Well, I have my H and an O this time. So, I write down so, ka, toa. And I tick. So I have O's and H's. So O's, H, H, O. The one with 2 ticks is the one that we want. So this time I'm using sin. So sin theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Now, again, we need to put the numbers in. So the angle, sin 65 in brackets, is equal to, the O is 8 and the H is x. Right, again, we need to rearrange. So the x needs to come up top and the sin part is going to go underneath. So sin of 65. So x must be equal to, and it is going to be, calculator out, 8 sine 65, close the bracket, and we press equals, and we have 8.8270. So rounding to one decimal place, I would have x is equal to 8.8 centimeters. So they are the more straightforward ones because the triangle is already drawn for you. So what you've got here is you've got just a triangle, all the information there. Now, it is possible to get something that is a little bit more wordy. Now, if you see something like this, you've got to make sure that you are drawing your triangle. So the sketch is always important. Every time you do these, make sure you draw your sketch in your book. So first things first, it says I put a ladder 1.5 meters away from a tree. So if I have a tree, come back, there we go. So here's my tree, there. And it says the ladder is 1.5 meters away from the tree, there. So there's my 1.5 meters. And it says the ladder is inclined at 70 degrees. So there's my ladder going up to my tree. I have 70 degrees. Now it says, what is the height of the tree? So you want to find the height of the tree here, which is x. So exactly the same idea. You label your sides. So if the right angle is here, hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. Opposite the angle is the x, and the adjacent is the 1.5. So next steps are circle all the sides involved in the question. I've got a 1.5 meter side and an x. So I remember, I write down saw, ka, toa. I tick the sides that are involved, so O's and A's. So there's an O, there's an A, there's an O and A. And the one that I want to use is the one that has 2 ticks. So I'm going to write down tan of my angle is going to equal opposite over adjacent. Now, I need to put the numbers in my question. So, tan of 70 is equal to my opposite, which is x, and my adjacent, which is 1.5. Now, rearranging, undoing it, divide by 1.5, times by 1.5, just like we were doing yesterday. And then we just need to make sure we put our numbers in our calculator. And when I do that, I have 4.2. So x is equal to, actually, sorry, 4.12 meters. So round it appropriately. Make sure when you round it correctly. And when we look at these questions, you are always thinking about making sure you draw the sketches. Obviously, yours is going to be using a pencil and ruler, so it's going to be much better than mine. But making sure when you get into these problem-solving questions, you identify the triangle first before you move on to actually starting to solve anything with the question. So, your turn now. You open the books up, have a go at the questions that are in the books, and just give it your best try. All right, thanks, bye.